Hello, my creative friends. I'm Heather North from heatherscreativeblessings.com. Most of you who follow my blog know that I am a quilter and a sewer. If you don't follow my blog, you might not know that, but I am. So when I saw this Notions stamp set from Waffle, I just knew I had to have it. I've already die cut a piece of Whisper White cardstock with the little inker design stitched rectangle die, and I'm using my misti here for placement. First of all, I want to put little buttons underneath my sentiment, but I'm also going to be doing a type of gradient stamping, and I think the misti will make it much easier for me. So I'm lining everything up, and when I have it where I like it, making sure that that paper is firmly down into the corner, I'm going to close the lid and pick up my stamp. It shifted and moved a little bit, but I'm able to put the paper right back where it belongs. And those are magnets. They're supposed to hold it in place, but mine still shift on me. The first color I'm going to use is London Fog by Memento. It's a light gray ink. I just close the lid to stamp, and there's a little piece that didn't quite catch. So because of the misti, I can just ink it again and stamp it again right in the same place. Now I'm going to add the thank you sentiment, also from this Notion stamp set. And I'm lining it up so it fits just perfectly in that space above the sew. Now to get that ombre look, or is it gradient look? I should look up the definitions. Maybe I'll just call it two-tone. To get the two-tone look, I'm going to take my black, Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and I'm just going to ink up the top part, the thank you, and the very top of the sew, and then stamp that down. You can do this without the misti by just putting gray ink on the bottom and black ink on the top, but when I tried that myself, I just didn't get very good results. I tended to have a sharp line, and doing it this way, I really think it was a much prettier look. So now I'm going to use the misti again and line up my buttons and start stamping those out. I wanted to thread my buttons, so I'm going to add some baker's twine here. I just took my paper piercer and I pierced through each of those buttonholes on the left and right button, and underneath it's just a thick piece of foam. I'm going to cut just a few inches, 4 or 5 inches off of that baker's twine so it's easier to manage. I stick my needle threader through the first hole. Then I thread the baker's twine through the wire and then pull it through to the front. So again, stick your needle threader through the hole. I just trimmed it off a little. Stick the baker's twine through that wire that's in the needle threader and pull it through to the front. Then I just tie it into a simple knot. For the second button, I'm just going to repeat the same process. An alternative to poking holes and tying your knot on the paper is to just tie a bow or a knot with your baker's twine and use a little bit of glue or a glue dot to adhere it into place. It might be difficult to see in the video, but you'll be able to see in the close-up picture later on. What I have here is a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch white cardstock that I have run through my Big Shot with the quilted swirl stitch pattern die from Little Inker Designs. It's a fabulous quilted look to add to my card. I just knew I had to get this as a quilter and a card maker. I just love the added little detail without adding too much fluff. So this gives it a really clean and simple look. Of course, it also ties into the sewing theme going on this card, the stitched rectangle that my stamping is on. And I was going to just put it in the center right there, but then I decided to move that panel up to the top. This just gives it a little bit something different from my normal standard layout. If you are interested in seeing some of my other cards with the sewing theme, or even my quilts and what I've been working on in my sewing room, be sure and head on over to my blog, and I'll have a link below if you're on YouTube. And on the right-hand side is a search button. Type in sewing or Sew Saturday. You can also type in notions if you would like to see what I have done with this waffle flower stamp set. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you find some time today to get creative. Bye!